Hi everyone, I hope that all of you are doing really great. So I am Rishav and welcome to Geeks for Geeks channel. So in today's video we will be learning to build a complete MERN Stack application, and it's a AI image generating app. Yeah, it's right, you heard right, it's AI image generation application. It's a complete full stack application based on React. So let me go through the tech stack. So for front end, it will be like React and Axios for API calling, and in backend we will be doing it with Node.js and Express. And for the database, we will be using MongoDB, which is basically a NoSQL database, right? And how we will be generating this AI image, that is basically we will be using the OpenAI's Dall.e model, and we will be using the OpenAI API, and we will be generating the AI images. So I hope that you guys will be liking this video, and I am the host for today's video. So if you guys like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the video and share it with your friends, those who are learning the tech stacks. So yeah, I hope that you will enjoy the whole process. So yeah, let's begin and let's first go through the whole application, like how it will look and awesome the whole thing is actually, right? So let's just jump into the video quickly. So as you can see, like I have built this app, and we are going to today build this awesome application using our AI basically with the Gen AI basically. So that is coming from the OpenAI, or you can say the Dall.e, which provides us the API to create AI generated images basically. So I think like this website looks awesome, and you guys will be like building this thing in today's video, and I hope that you will be liking and enjoying. So you can see like there are different features available, like on hover you can download the thing, like there is a download button that through which you can download. There is also functionality like search. You can see like I can search, like it's 3D, like some of the images are re-rendered, and you can see the search result. So basically like this whole thing will work, like you can do search also, and there are features like no data found, or you can search with author name like David, right? And all the details of the user and the prompt that is used to generate this image, that will be shown up on hover. Right now there is another thing like creating new post, right? So if you click on the top button on the nav bar, so the form will open up, like where you can enter your name basically, like who is the user, and you can enter your prompt, like I will write a girl in a fantasy world, like that. So like you can enter your prompt basically, and after that you can click on that button that is appearing, that generate image, and the whole thing will be working on the backend through our OpenAI API. So you can see now it is generating your image, so it will pass the request to the OpenAI, and using the Dall.e model your image will be generated. So you can see like the image is being generated, right? So and now if you want to post it, so you can fill up the details like your name, so author basically. So now you can see the post image button is also active. So all the validations of the forms and all the things will come, and once you have posted, so at that time what will happen, it will take you to the main page, and you can see like your post is being created on the public community. So like that the whole thing will work, and I hope like you will be liking this video of AI integrated with the React.js and a full MERN Stack application you guys are going to build. So we will be using MongoDB basically, as I told earlier in the intro. So and then the Dall.e basically. So what is Dall.e? So it is a model generated by OpenAI for generating images. So you can go through their website. So the API basically, OpenAI API basically uses this one, Dall.e. So you can create your API key, and then we are using MongoDB as our database. So I will show you like how to create the API keys and how to integrate them. So yeah, that's it for today's video. So let's get started basically, right? So I hope you will enjoy. So like and subscribe Geeks for this video if you are going to enjoy this thing, and you can also like share with your friends with this thing. Yeah, so now let's get started with the setup. So there are basically some files that I have extracted and I will give in the drive, so you can access these files through the drive. like some basic index.css file, like the basic structure. These are not important that much, like themes. This thing I will be providing you in the drive link, so you can download them and you can work with this accordingly, like I will show you. Okay, so now open a create a new folder. Like I have created image generator, so like that, create a new folder, and in that folder, as we are going to making front end and back end, so create two files now, folders basically, server and client. We will be creating through npm, the React app basically, and the server is for backend part. Okay, so you can write the command npx create React app client, and now it will re-render all the things, and it will create the folder, you can see client, and it will be like building the basic React application. And you can go in the server. Till that time you can do cd server and then initialize node by doing npm init, and all these basic things are not required. So it will create a package.json, just hit enter and you can give your name. So now our basic server is set up with the package.json file, and our React client application is also being set up. So you can see like it is initialized. It will take a little bit of time. So yeah, you can see happy hacking. So our React application is now ready. We can use this thing. So let's do one thing. Let's open that one. So I have done npm start. So you can see on my right hand side, like this localhost 3000 is started, right? Now let's clear up all the things like that are required. So first thing is open the client and then copy the git and readme and git ignore file, because we will be hosting this thing. So git should be in the main directory, that is our image generator that we created, that folder we need. And now in git ignore, edit the node modules, basically client/node modules and server/node modules, and server/.env and client/.env. okay, so this is done. Now let's do one thing. Now you open the VS Code again. So now you can see that your GitHub icon in the VS Code, it will show basically 34 changes, right? So now our node modules are will not be taken by git, so it is ignored. Okay, now let's delete some of the folders: app.css, app.test, logo, report, web vitals, and that thing. These are not required, so I have cleared them. Okay, now in the index.css, copy from my code and just paste it in your index.css file. And now in the app.js, let's clear it. So we will just clear the some imports, and we will make it very clear, and we will write a simple hello. Okay, and then come to index.css. We have done that. Index.js, remove the web vitals part, as we don't need that. And let's reload. Before reload, let's start. So cd client and npm start. Okay, so now you can see like it has started. So you can see a hello is coming, right? So that means our application is working perfectly fine now. Okay, now let's go to client, cd client. Now run this install command. So these are all the packages like Emotion, React, Material UI, Axios. So these are some of the packages that we are going to use basically while making our application. These are very basic, like lazy load, MUI for material design, and theme, style components for styling. So yeah, in this video we are using style components. Okay, so now let's just go in the src and create some of the folders. So utils, I have created pages, and components. And now in the utils, create a theme.js file and copy my theme.js and just paste it. So there are two modes, dark and light. You can use any of them. I will be using dark theme. Right, now in the components, and let's build the components first. So you can see in the components, I have two components, buttons and text input. So simply paste them. These are very basic buttons and text inputs that I have already created. So it will be easy for us to maintain the whole application in a short video. Right, so you can see this thing very basic. We are taking some props and we are building these things. So now in the pages, so first thing that we have is the home page. So let's build the home page. So home.jsx. Then we will be needing the creating a new image, right? So create post. So you can do RAFCE to create this default template for React export, right? Now in the app.js, what we will do is we will do some import basically. So we are using style components here. So I will write import style from style components, and after that we will import the dark theme that we have been pasted basically in the utils. So I will import the dark theme now. After that, you can see we are wrapping this in theme provider. So theme provider is basically from the style components, and you can pass your theme. And now in the whole structure, means in the whole application, you can use this theme basically. Now I will create a custom element container basically. So how is this coming? This is coming from style components. We can style this thing. So I have created container and a wrapper and a hello. Now you can define this container. So const container equals to style.div. Basically you can write all your styles. So I will give like width 100%, height 100%, and display flex, and background, let's say background will be coming from the theme. So for that we have to use our themes. So you can see I have a bg in our theme, so you can write in curly braces and then a arrow function, and you can use the theme.bg. So basically like this we can create our custom elements, or you can say components. Basically that is only style components. It is much easier as we can maintain it in a single file. So now the next thing is wrapper. So its height will be 100%, then its position will be relative, and display will be flex, and the flex direction I will keep it column, so it will come in this manner. Okay, and then I will give the justify content center, and justify content center, done. And then in the container, let us say like the color of the text also will be like text primary, so I will change it to that. Okay, so our container and wrapper is now basically done. So I will hide the overflow. So overflow x hidden and overflow y hidden. So basically now this overflow is hidden, and I will give a transition, basic transition. So 2.0 second is, so there will be a little bit of animation, like if you in further create the switching of the themes also. Okay, now this is done. So now let us say like import our page, that is home basically. So I will do import home from ./pages/home. Okay, so now you can see that I have imported home, and you can see that home is coming in our browser, right? So our home page is coming. We have imported successfully. Create post also I have imported in the same manner. So you can see like pages/create post, and if you refresh, so you can see at the bottom create post is coming, because our wrapper is justified content space between. So that case, now what we will do is we will be using router for routing the pages. Okay, so now let's start with the router. So browser router is from React router DOM. So I will import browser router, and like for routing we require browser router at our root. So inside browser router we will use routes. So inside the routes we will have different route. So first route will be like path will be home, and the element will be our home. So I have entered that one. The path will be / and element is home, and it will be exact. And then I will copy this one, and I will change the path to post, and let's change it to create post. Now you can see that in default it is coming home, and if you give /post in the URL, so you will see it is taking us to the create post page. So that is basically the functionality of React, and we are using browser router and routes basically. Now let's create the component navbar. So you have see that we have a top navbar. So by default do rafc, and we are having navbar. So I will import the style components again, and now let us start with the container. So same thing basically, style components. So I will write const container equals to style.div, and now let us just do one thing. Let's import this navbar, so it will be easy to see. So you can see that navbar text is coming in the top, right? So now let's create this home page basically, so it will be easy to understand. Like its style will be like the home page basic container will be like with 100%, height 100%, sorry. So the navbar will be then fixed at the top basically. So I will give it its height 100%, and now if you check this one container, so yeah, you can see navbar and home are coming one after other, right? So overflow y of the home container will be scroll, so we can scroll the home page but not the navbar, right? So now in coming to the create post, we will do the same thing. Style components and container, I will copy paste this one, and yeah, same thing. Okay, so post also is coming perfect now, done. So I think this much is pretty basic setup. So this is done, the pages and the navbar, right? Now through the navbar, let us create the navbar. So the first thing that we will have is basically a text. You have seen a logo, GNAI basically, and the other thing is a button basically, like to changing our route to the post page. So I will import our button that we already pasted. So I will just import it from button, and then we have to pass the prop text, and that is create new post. So you can see the button at the top now, it is coming, and we can add our left icon, right icon. So I will add a left icon, that is add round, and that is coming from MUI style. So just import that from MUI icons, and now if you reload this thing, you will see like the add round will come. Now let's just style this add round. So I will add a style in inline CSS. Basically this style is inline CSS. So I will give it a font size, say 18 pixel will look good, and If you rerun this application, it is taking a little bit of time. Let's rerun. Okay, so till that time, let's make the container. So I will give it a flex one, so it will take the whole space. Then I will set its background to theme.bg basically. So now you can see the plus is coming right on the button. So theme.navbar. So basically our theme is defined. So for navbar we have a navbar color. So I have defined that background. Then I will give it a color text navbar. I guess text primary. I will give it text primary only, and then I will set it font weight bold, and you can see font size I will make it say 22 pixels. Now it looks good, and I will give it a padding. So the navbar should have a padding 14 pixel by 50 pixel. Now it is looking good, right? Now I will give it a display flex, so it is coming side by side and justify content space between. So now this thing will look pretty much good, right? And now I will give it a align item center, so both will come at the center. Okay, done. Now I will give it a box shadow, so it will be visible, so 0010 pixel and RGB 0.015, right? Now it is looking pretty much good, similar to that what we have in here, right? So yeah, now it's pretty much good. So if I have reloaded this one localhost, so you can see that in bigger screen, so how it will be look. So in smaller screen I don't need this much padding, so I will make it a screen max with 600 pixel, and I will give it a padding of 10 pixel by 12 pixel. Now it looks good, right? So yeah, now it's pretty much good. Okay, so our basic navbar setup is done. So yeah, this is done. Then I will create a const in the navigation basically. So I will use navigate, and this comes from the React router DOM. So I will import that thing from use navigate from React router DOM, and I will use location to get the path basically where I am currently. Now on the button, so I will add a functionality of on click. So you can pass the prop on click. I will set the navigate to post, so it will take us to post page basically that we have created, right? So you can see that it is coming to post page. Okay, now our button is also functional, so if you click on create new post, it will take to the post. Now I will check the path basically, like if I am in the post page, I need to go back to the main page, right? So I will check the path. So for that I will use location from the same React router DOM, and then I will get the path from location.path name, and I'm splitting that thing basically, right? And now if you do path 1, so you will get the /post. So I will check if the path 1 is /post, then let us for of now keep nothing. So you can see that create post we have no button, but on back we have a create new post button, right? So let us create a new button, explore, and I will give the icon explore rounded. So yeah, you can see now on the button click it's changing. So let's change the color of this. So I will give type secondary. So now you can see the button is now working absolutely fine. Like on home page we have create new post, and explore we have explore button basically, right? So this is working. So now our nav bar is completely done, right? So now let's just get started with the home page. I hope you are liking this video, so don't forget to subscribe the channel. So yeah, let's get started with the home page. So I will first of all I will give a padding basically, so 30 pixel by 30 pixel, all the way 30 pixel you can see, and then I will give a padding bottom 50 pixels. So whenever you scroll it will be maintained. Display flex, and flex direction will be column, aligning items will be centered. So you can see that home is now centered, right? Then I will give a gap of 20 pixel, and now let's make it responsive. So I will give a max width of 768 pixel, and then in the padding I will give 6 by 10 pixel. It would work good. And then let's give a background by default theme dot, you can give it bg. Yeah, so done. So our basic container is done. So you can see like using style components now, you can basically create the CSS very easily, and you can visualize the whole thing very easily instead of a new file. So yeah, so the next thing is like in the home what we have is a heading that is basically you can see. So you can write anything. I am writing explore popular post in the community. So yeah, so we have, first of all we have a heading, and then we have a generated with AI in a different color, so we will give it in a span. So now let's define this headline. So headline will be a style div, and also like the span a style div. So let's just, you can see that it is coming now. So let's just define the font size and all. So font size will be like 34 pixel, and then font weight will be say 500, and then color I will give it primary, text primary. So theme.text primary, and I will give it a display flex. Okay, and align items will be centered. Done. And flex direction column. Okay, so now you can see that these are coming one after other, and let's make it responsive. So for smaller screen size, I will give font size say 28 pixel. Let's see, 24 would 22 would look good. Yeah, now it's looking good, right? So yeah, this font size is good. Now copy paste the same thing for the span. Now I will change this font size to 30 and the font weight and color to primary. So you can see this is coming good, but let's make it secondary. I would think that would look good. Yeah, so now it is looking good. So our span and that's are done. So I have like copied some dots. So you can search and you can copy this dot, and in the span you can give this, so it will look awesome then. Yeah, now it's coming good, pretty much good, right? So after this headline, what we have is a search bar, right? So search bar, I will create a new component basically. So in the components, write search bar.jsx, then rafc by default, that you will get this thing, right, by default. Now import the search bar. Now you can see the search bar is coming. So now import style components in the search bar. So this video is a little bit faster because we have some time constant, but I hope you guys are learning new things in a very fast manner. So first is search bar container, then inside that I will have search outline bar, and we will have a input. So search outline is an icon, so I will import that icon, search outline, for MUI and style components. Now let's create the component search bar container. So you can see that I have added that one, and now in the input, let us give it a style, inline style. Before that, let's just start with the search bar container. So I will give it a max width of say 550 pixels. Display will be flex, width will be 100%, and its border will be like say 1 pixel solid. Theme dashed theme dot text secondary plus 90. So now you can see that the whole search bar, and inside that we have an input. Now I will give it a border radius, say 8 pixel, and then I will give a padding of say 12 by 16 would do good, right? So done. And let's give it a flex 1. No, flex 1 won't work. I will give it a max. No, this won't work. I will give it with 99%. It's taking more. 90, yeah, 90 would do good. So I will give it a width of 90%, and cursor would be pointer for this thing, and gap would be 6 pixel. Yeah, now this thing looks pretty much good. Search bar is the search bar container is done. Aligning item center. Okay, now this looks good. Now for the input, let us remove this white color and border and all. So border none, outline none, width will be like 100 pixel would look good. Okay, 100%, sorry. It has taken the full width now, and copy paste the color, and theme.text primary would be its color. So it will inherit, and background will be transparent. Now inline CSS is done. I think if we reload, yeah, so now if we reload, you can see that this thing is done. Okay, so outline will be none. Yeah, so now you can see our search bar is also done. So basically you can input anything, and it's now looking pretty much good, I guess. Okay, so now it is maintained also. Font size, let us give it 16 pixel, little bit bigger. Okay, now it's looking good. So our search bar is also done. So we have imported that in our home. So let's give it a placeholder, search with prompt on name. So yeah, now it is looking good. Okay, and it will take some props, but we will do that later on. Okay, so now in the home, so what you can see here is let's make it small. Okay, done. So I have make the span also a little bit small. Okay, so after the search bar, we have the post, basically all the post and the post card, right? So that will be posted. So there will be a post card, so and that will be wrapped in a wrapper. So I have made a component called wrapper. Let's just define the wrapper. So it will be a style.div only, and in that let's add its width will be 100. Background to check for of now, let us give it a high. Then you can see, okay, so now you can see that it is taking the whole. So give it a max width of, yeah, so it will now be I have given a max width of 1400, so it will take that much space only. Padding I will give 32 by 0. Display flexed, and justify content center. Now all the things will become will be in the center, whatever will be there. I've removed the background. Okay, now I will be having card wrapper inside this, where all the cards will be there. For example, now let us write div card. So these are basically the cards, right? So let us just define the container for the card wrapper, and I will give it a div. And now I will give it a display grid. In a grid system, its gap will be 20 pixel. So you can see 3 of them are now present. And then I will give it a media max with 1200 pixels. I will make it grid template. So the columns will be basically now repeated in a manner of 4 by 1. So at 1200 width, it will be 4 items, and then I will, for the minimum, or you can say maximum, with 1199 pixel, or you can say a minimum of 640 pixels, and that one it will repeat a template of 3, and below 640 basically, so it will be having 2 cards. So now this is written to make it responsive, the grid system basically. Okay, so 2 pixel, or you can say 2 pixel. Yeah, now this is good. 689 pixel, 639. Okay, good. So now you can see there are 2 cards for of now, right? Now let us create the card component. So I will write image card.jsx. So basically this is an image card. Make a file, not a folder, sorry. So RAFC default one, and then I will import this image card from there. Image card is imported, and now let us import style component. Let's come to the image card. Let's design this one. So let us create a card, basic default card. Then we have a lazy loading image. So I will import that thing, lazy load image. I have already installed that lazy load image package, React lazy load image, and then I will import, or you can say, like, let's define the card style.div, and then we have in the style.div, let us search some images from Google. I will copy its link, and I will just use that link for of now to design the whole card. So yeah, so SRC for of now I will give that only, the link that I got. So you can see that image is basically coming by default. Okay, now let's just design this whole thing. So first thing I will do is there is also like hover part. On hover overlay, like basically there will be the prompt. So I will create component prompt with prompt, and there will be author. So for of now, let's give a name Rishabh. Okay, now also define the hover overlay and the prompt and author. Let's change it to prompt and author. Okay, so now we have defined all the style components that we need. Now let's just start with the style. So card will be, position will be relative, as hover overlay will come on top of that. So position relative, display flex. I will get a border radius of 20 pixel, and box shadow will be like 1 pixel by 2 pixel by 40 pixels. And let us give it a box shadow of theme with theme dot black and 60. Okay, now it's good. Okay, and let us make it cursor will be like pointer, and transition will be all with 0.3 seconds, and it will be like good then for of that with transition all in ease. And let's just make it a hover, and in hover what will happen, box shadow will be like 1 pixel, 40 pixel, 2 pixel, 40 pixel, 80 pixel, and the theme will be same, just make it to 80. Okay, now on the hover it is looking good. And scale, let's scale it with 1.10. Let us and okay, the hover is wrong. Okay, now it is looking good. Transition, I have made some spelling mistake or thing. Okay, 0.3 second. Now it is good, right? Okay, now image card, let us copy and let's just see. So you can see that the card is coming like that. Okay, now I guess like I have to make the grid style basically. So now let's do one thing. I will give it with 100% for all the images. Okay, and let us add the another grid basically. So I want that layout, one will be big and all other will be 4 small. So for nth child with 7th plus 1th, for that case grid column I will give it auto by 2 and auto by span 2, and you can see that layout is coming. Yeah, and grid row also I will do. For that grid row is auto span. Okay, now it is like pretty much coming, but it is not taking the whole space. Let us see where the error is. So if you come to home in the card wrapper, let us do one thing in the home in the card wrapper. Basically in the wrapper, let us change its max width. Let us do one inspect. Okay, I got it. Okay, so max width for this one, right? So I have to change this to minimum width, but and now you can see like it is now coming perfectly. Okay, so now it is done. So in the card wrapper, instead of max width, make it minimum width, the first one, that is 1400 pixel. Now in the hover overlay, let's complete the hover for the card. So hover overlay, its position is absolute at the top of the card, and then give top 0, left 0, right 0, bottom 0, the basic things. And its display is flex direction. I will set it to column, and then I will align the items start at the start, and then I will give justify. Okay, gap with 2 pixel, and then backdrop. So it should be blurred, the image should be blurred, so I will give a backdrop filter, blur 2 pixel. Now it's looking good, I guess. 2 pixel is good, and then I will give it a background, say RGB 0, 0,0,0,0.5. Okay, now whenever it will be hovered, it will come like this, and then let's give it a color. So color will be theme primary basically, or you can say white, anything. And then transition, basically opacity, I will change its opacity on transition, so it will be 0.3 ease. Second is okay. Now let us make this hover functional. So I will write card. So I am importing this component, so $card, and then on that card's hover I want this style to be done. So that is opacity will be 1, and by default opacity 0. So now you can see that this card, whenever I hover, only that case it is coming. So basically like this, you can add hover on one element and you can add the hover functionality. Now let's just start with the prompt. So prompt, like font weight will be 400, color I will copy paste, font size will be 15 pixel, font weight is given. So yeah, now you can copy and paste that one. Then font size is also given for author, and let us give it a display flex, and gap will be 8 pixels. So I will have the image in the author only. So let's now add that one. So that is basically avatar, and it will have a letter. So you can see that avatar is from MUI, so we have defined that one. Now give it a style, inline style with SX property of MUI, or you can give it also style through style also. So I will give its font size to 12 pixel. Now let's just see. No, it's a little bit small. So let us give its width 22 pixel by height 22 pixel, little bit small. Let's give it 32. Yeah, now it is coming perfect. So 32 pixel is perfect. So I have given the avatar with 32 pixel. Now it's good. Now let's give it a border radius of 6 pixel for the hover, and justify content will be end. And let's just see if it comes at the bottom. So something is wrong. Let's see. So justify content. Okay, so let's give it a padding of 12 pixel by, say 12 pixel is good, and justify content flex end not working. Let us give it a display of. Okay, so the display spelling was wrong, so display flex I have given. So for that reason, okay, done. Display spelling was wrong, so make it correct for the author. For the hoverable, now add a download icon also. So from MUI I am importing this download rounded. Let us align that thing. So I will create a new div, and I will just add some inline CSS for this div. So display will be flex, and width will be 100%, with 100% in quotation, and then display is flex, and I will align the items in center position, so the items are not aligned basically. Then justify content space between, so it will be like separated, so both the ends, so that is space between functionality done. Then I will give it a gap, say 8 pixel. Now it is looking good. And on this download on click, we should download the image basically. So I am using file saver, which I have also installed, so you can use that. So I will import file saver from file saver. Yeah, done. So save as, I will save this image basically. So I have to give it a name, download.jpg you can give, and I will pass the item, the whole item as a prop. So like for prompt it will be item.prompt, author will be item.author. This avatar will have item.author and the first one, so bracket 0, So it will take the first one, and item.photo for the download icon. So we want to download the photo basically for of now, right? So in the image card you can pass this item as a photo. And okay, so we can do one thing, like in the lazy load we can import photo, and we will now create a, we can paste this one basically, and then we will, let us reload and see. For the first image it should come photo equal to, okay, let us do one thing. Let us create a new const item, and then photo, and then pass the photo author, and then prompt. So this is basically the schema of the each cards, right? So let us just paste the image, and here let us give it item. Yeah, and it has came, like you can see that if I pass the item, so you can see the image is now loaded, and the download is not working yet. So let us remove the other cards. And so for one card, if you click on download, it is still not working. So download.jpg file saver. So file saver is imported by default, so now it should come. Yeah, so you can see it has downloaded, right? So this is done. So home is done, author, let's say pass Rishabh, and prompt is hey prompt for checking. Yeah, so now you can see on hover the whole thing is working. So this image card is also done for you guys. So now if you reload, you can see the layout is completed, the home page is completed, we are having the cards also, and the whole thing is done, right? So now let's just start with the create post. So lazy load image, let us give it a border radius. I want the border radius to be 12 pixel. Now it looks good, the card is now looking good. So this is done. So lazy load image is also done. Lazy load image is basically done to render the images faster basically, and in alt I can pass the image prompt. Done. So now let's just jump into the create post basically. So in create post page, let us start with the home only. Like I will copy the home page CSS, some of them, like container and all these things, and paste it in this create post, right? So you can just copy paste like me. And headline I don't need, I need the wrapper and the container, right? So wrapper would be same, let's make it max with 1200 pixel, and I will give it a gap of say 8%. So our whole thing is being divided into two parts. The form, left side will be the form and right side is the image, right? So now let us just start with creating that thing. So inside container we have a wrapper, and now in the wrapper first let's make it responsive, max with 768. I will make its flex direction will be column. So in small screen it will come in column order, and on bigger screen it will be on flex order, display flex, right? So let's just create the two components that we have. One is form, so I will write it form.jsx or generator image form.jsx default rafc. Done. I will import this one, so it will be easy for us to visualize and style this thing, right? And the next part is, so first just design with the, let's go for this. I will import the generate image form, I will import style components, and then I will create a new component form. Inside that we are having three sections. Top, in the top we will be having our title, generated image with prompt, then we will be having description. Write your prompt basically according to the you want to generate. You can give anything you want as your choice. I am giving this thing. Okay, now our top section is done, and then after the top section we will have our body, which is the form body basically. So in the body I am, for of now I am writing body, and action is basically the buttons that we have. So actions I will define. Now let's define all these style components that we have. I will paste this form, top, title, description, body. Done. And the last thing, author, action, sorry. So I have defined this thing. Now you can see in the screen that all these things are coming. Now let's just start styling with them. So first thing is form. I will give it a flex 1. I will give it padding 16 by 20, and then display will be flex. Column direction would be column obviously, then give it a gap of 9%. Now you can see the three parts are separated with a gap, and I want it at the center, so justify content is center. Done. Now the top part, let's start with the top. Display will be flex direction column, and I will give it a gap, say 6 pixel. Okay, done. Now start with the title. Font size would be 28, font weight would be 500, and its color would be primary basically. Theme dot text primary, right? And then its description, I will copy this thing and I will paste in description with 17 and say 400 and text secondary. So now I guess it would look good. So yeah, it's looking nice now. Now in the body, again same thing, display flex direction column, and with a gap, gap would be say 18 pixel, and then font size would be 12 pixel, font weight would be 400 would be good, color would be theme, and theme dot say text primary would be good. Actions also same thing, I will do the flex 1, so it will take the whole space, display flex, gap would be 8, and done. So now its direction would be flex only, as we have seen in the buttons. Now let's get started with the button. So I will write button and I will import that button from the components only. So button is imported, and I will import the text inputs that I also have provided earlier, so you can download or you can see that from the link. So I will, in the body I will write text input. Let's just, in the button and text input you can see, so let's just pass the props. So button text will be generate image with generate image, and flex will be it will take whole width, and then left icon I will give auto awesome. So, and auto awesome is imported from MUI, it is icon, MUI icons. So if you reload you can see the icon. Yeah, now it's look good. Then we will have another button also, like to post. So I will write post image, and left icon will be create rounded, imported from MUI, and it will, I will change the color to secondary, so type is secondary. Now you can see the two buttons are coming and it is taking the full width, and as we wanted it is coming. Now let's just style with the text inputs. So first text input is for the author name, so I will give it a label author, and placeholder will be enter your name, and then I will give it a name, say name, and let's just copy. So the next one will be prompt that we want to take, so image prompt, enter the image. Well, write your prompt or detailed prompt about the image you want to generate. Okay, done. So now this is a text area I want, so I will pass the rows. So row will be 8 and it is a text area, so I will pass text area. Now you can see a text area is coming for the prompt, right? So as we needed, we have created this form, so it is looking absolutely perfect, and I hope you liked it. So you can write a message here, you can post the AI generated image to the community. Yeah, done. Now it is looking absolutely fine, right? So now let's create another component, that is the right side, that is the generated image. So create a new component, file RAFC default one, I will copy paste and import this one, and you can see that generated image card is coming. So I have imported that in the main page create post. Now in the generated image card, import the style components, and I will change it container at the root. Then with the image will be basically an image component, and style with the style. So let's start with container. So container style will be a div, I will give it a flex 1, so it will take the whole width, and then padding will be 16 pixel, border will be 2 pixel dashed, so it will look nice, and theme will be yellow color will look good, theme.yellow. Done. And then I will give it a normal color of say text primary or secondary, text arrow. Okay, arrow is good, plus 80. And then I will give it a border, say border radius would be 20 pixel. Done. And now let's write the image. So image is basically a styled image component. So like this we can define any of the elements of HTML using style components. So with height 100% by default, and object will be cover fit. Object fit will be cover. Border radius, give it 18, or you can give it 20 also. Done. 24 would be good. Yeah, done. Now you can see the image is coming, and its background I will give it theme dot black. The image background by default would be black. So now you can see that it is coming absolutely fine, the two layouts in flex order. Now create post, let's make it wrapper width, let's make it 100%. Now it's coming absolutely fine, right? So width will be 100%, perfect. And now let us pass the props. So for generate image card, we will be having the props src for the image and loading. So whether it is loading or not, so I will check if it is loading. I will pass default text loading, and if it is not loading in the ternary operator not part, I will check if the src is present or not. So if src is present, I will pass the image, and if it is not present, again a ternary operator, I will give a message, write a prompt to generate the image. I want to make it center, so I will give it justify content center. Now it should come at the center. Let us see. It's not coming. I think I have to give it a display flex, and gap would be 16 pixel. Let us give it flex direction column. Yeah, now it is coming centered. Okay, so I hope that you have understood this ternary condition. So now in the loading, I want a circular progress bar. It is again imported from MUI. So if I pass loading by default, so you can see it is loading. I will give it a color inherit. I want it to be gray. So width will be like 24 pixel, and height will be 24. This is basically inline css for the circular progress bar. Now I guess it is looking cool, and I will write generating your image basically, and in the image component I will pass the src, okay, as src props. Done. Now I think our left and right and form is done. Let us modify its height with 100%. I will remove the flex uncheck. Yeah, now it is coming perfect, right? And I will make this one justify content center the whole container. Now you can see it is coming center aligned. Now let us in the create post, let us do one thing. Now basically form is done, right? So I will create a post basically. So const post and use state will be used. That is a React hook which is used for rendering our inputs or anything, and we can update that and our whole component get updated. So I will use useState. I have imported that from React, and then I will create another useState hook for generate image loading and set generate image loading. So this is basically for loading state, whether it's loading or not, and then I will create another for post loading or not. So there are two loadings. So for generate image card, I will pass src as photo, the object that we created with photo post, sorry, not photo, post dot photo that we have. And for container, let's give it a minimum height of 300 pixel. Also pass the loading. I have added the loading also for generate image loading. Now let's coming to generate form. I will pass the post, then I will pass the set post, as we will be changing the post through that form part only, right? The left part form, generate image form. So I need to pass the post, then post loading, then generate image loading. All these things we will handle through that part. So I will pass all the set hook methods in that component. So you can just come and paste that one, and now just remove the equal to sign and separate them with a comma. So all the functions and the objects or hooks are coming through props. Now you can easily use them. Like for text input, I will set the on change basically. For of now we are not setting it anywhere, but now we will save it. So its value will be post dot prompt, right? So and on handle change, I will change the post prompt. So I will use a set post, and with the curly brace I want to keep the remaining post same, and I only want to change the prompt to e.target.value basically, right? So this is how basically we handle using use state hooks, any inputs or fields. So I will paste that for the author also, change it with name. Done. And now for buttons, we need on click functionality. So is loading, I will use is post loading or generate image loading or create post loading for this one, right? I will copy and paste this one, create post loading. And for the button of generating image, I will give it is disable. So like this button should be disabled when name is empty, or say prompt is empty, or say photo is empty. So this button should be disabled at that time, right? If all the things are given, then only it should work. Now for the same I will copy, and now for the generate, only the prompt should be written and the loading is generate image loading, right? So our disability function is also being done for the buttons. Now you can check if name is given, then by default both of them are being disabled. Okay, now let's create some arrow functions basically, like for when the buttons are clicked. So first one is generate image function. For of now I will just simply make it set generate image loading true, and the next one is create post function. Same thing, the set create post I will make it true. So this is by default, right? So on click we will call that arrow function generate image function, and on click of this button post image, on I will call another function that is create post function, right? So if you see, if I click on this button, write something and click on this button, you can see this button is also rendering, and on the right side that we have the image that is also rendered. Right, so in the root we have the create post and the whole thing is being rendered. So that is why we are using use state hook, right? And now for of now our front end is done pretty much. Now let's start with the back end part, and I hope you have enjoyed the front end. So like this video for Geeks and subscribe it, right? So now let's start with backend. So I will install these packages basically. So open a new terminal and go to your server, cd server, and just paste this install command. So it will install all the things, that is Cloudinary, Express, and all the things that are required, like NodeMon, AI, OpenAI, and all these things. And in the script, add a new command start, and on start what we want, our command NodeMon index.js file should be run. So that is done, right? And in server I will remove this one. Okay, now you can see node modules are being removed. Okay, done. So this was our dependency, and I will change its type to module. So in the package.json you can just simply do what I have done and it will be pretty much done. So create a new file, index.js, basically the default file which we want to run. So first thing is importing CORS. CORS is basically used to maintain security purpose and origin access and all. So I will not go in details. So we have Mongos, basically our MongoDB access. Then we have .env for our maintaining our secret in the env file, right? So first I will define an app which is basically using Express, right? So app equals to Express, then app.use CORS, it will be using CORS, and then app.use express.json, and I will give it a max limit of 50 MB. You can pass the payload of maximum 50 MB through this. Okay, so that is done. First import the Express. I have not imported Express. Import, yeah, Express is being imported now. And then app.use express URL encoded, and it should extend it with true. So these are default you can say like default things that need to be maintained whenever we create a backend server. So these are necessary. So now let us just define a error handler. So app.use error and request response and next. So if say status is error.status or 500 by default, message also error.message, or say pass something went wrong, and I will return the res.status with the status and a JSON with the success false, and the message will be status and message, right? So this is basically error handler that should be run whenever error occurs. Now the default things, whenever you open this API, it should give a message. So basic one, app.get on slash, it would be async function. It will send a JSON response with message hello GFG developers, right? And a status should be 200. So this is a basically default thing. So we should now start the server. How to start the server? So first let's create a function, asynchronous asynchronous function, basically add a function. Now let's inside that put a try, and in the try we will do app.listen. So it will listen on our port 8080, and a function will be run, that is console.log server has been started. And then if it falls into any error, so it will just console.log that error and just simply write the function start server. So now whenever you will run this application with cd, you will see that server started on port 8080, and if you go to localhost 8080, you can see hello GFG developers, right? So now our server is absolutely fine. Now I will do function for connecting the MongoDB with our server. So I will write a new function, connect MongoDB, and then it will do mongoose.set strict query mode. These are basic default things that you have to set. Then I will call the connect function mongoose.connect process.env MongoDB URL. So this URL will be coming from our env file, .env file that I will show you. Then if it is connected, I will just simply pass the message that MongoDB connected, and if error, catch the error, console.log error, pass the error, or fail to connect, anything you can write. Also you can do console.log error. So basically this is the default connection of the MongoDB with our server. So now I will call this function on the start server. Whenever it will start, it should connect with the MongoDB. Now the default env file, create a file in the server, and I will now, you can come into MongoDB at last and you can log in and create a new project, and then you can click on connect, set Node.js, and you can get this URL, right? So set your password that you have set, and copy the URL like I have. You can copy this URL and paste this URL. Okay, so I have my own MongoDB URL, so paste that, update the password, and you can use. Now rerun this one, you can see some error is coming. Okay, MongoDB URL, it will be MongoDB URL in env. Now if you start, same error. I think I need to modify one thing, that is .env.config, so it will be a function. Now if you can see, I have run it, you can see MongoDB is connected now, right? So now our MongoDB is also connected with our server, and our server is also running on localhost 8080. Now you just paste the error file, create a new error.js, paste this thing. So error file is also written, basic error, you don't need to go into deep. Then I will create the file structure, that are folder structure, controllers, models, and routes. These are the three important folder structure we need. So for models, we are having post model, we are creating the post of the image, right? So for that we have a schema, and that is in models. So create a new post.js, inside that import mongos, and we are using mongo schema. So I will write const post schema is new mongo schema, and then I have name, its type is string, it is required, right? And then we have prompt, and then we have photo. So this three things that we have created a schema of type string, right? And then after that, create a new const post, define the variable post equal to mongoose.model. It is a model, right? That is post. So it will create a collection then, and then pass the post schema. So export the default the post. So our model is also created. Very simple, very easy. The model, you can go through the docs, you will be getting more clarity on this thing. Now the controller are the default functions that are called on every routes, and our code executes at the controller only. Main code is at the controller basically. So I will import the model that we created basically. So I have imported the model of post. Then I will import the create error and .env that we have just implemented. And then I will import Cloudinary, which is used to store our images in the cloud, and I will use that link. So you can come into Cloudinary, you can log in, you can come into the console, you will get all the API key, you can log in with Google or anything basically to store the images. We need some cloud storage, right? So I am using Cloudinary for now. So in Cloudinary you will get the API details, so cloudinary.config, cloud name, and all these things. So you can config that one. So I have pasted this thing. I will import this all from .env, like how I did for Mongo URL, right? I have my own. You can go in the Media Explorer, you can see all the images that you have uploaded through your application, right? So that is Cloudinary. Now let us do one thing. Let's create a simple controller that will get all the posts currently that we have. So export const get all posts. It is asynchronous function with having three parameters: request, response, and next. What should it do next? So then in the function we have a try catch block. For all controllers we will be having the try catch block. Now come into Postman. You can install Postman for testing these APIs. So if you run this one, you can see hello developers in the localhost, but we are going to create a post. So first in the try block, write a const post, and that will call the post.find. So in the post collection, whatever things documents are being present, it will return that. So in return, send the data as a post. So I will return data as a post and success is true. And if any error occurs, pass it on the next. It will create an error with error status and error response.data.message, error.message. So it will pass the message, or if not present, then error.message basically. So it will create a new error basically, right? And if you run this one, it will not work. We have to add the routes for this. Routes are basically used to maintain the structure. So routes for post, we have simple, we will import the Express, and now after importing Express, what we will do is I will define router, then const router is express.router, and what is this router will have? Router.get function. It is a get method that will call the controller. You can see get all post, it is calling that controller, and the path is simple slash, and I will export this router. So you can see the path that I have added, localhost, right? Now in the index.js, you have to import this router basically. So I will import this router, routes, right? And then I have to define the app. So app.use API, I will define API, and in the post basically we will pass this post router. So now in the URL, if you add API post, you can see all the posts that I already have in my previous application that are coming, right? So data, inside the data, all the documents are coming. So that is basically how you can create your controller and implement route, and the whole structure is done. Now let's just begin with create post router. So I will export const create post with request and response, and next the same basic thing, arrow function, and then try catch block will be there with a catch of error, and I will, after this error, I will paste the next thing, same thing I will paste it here. Now in the try block, first of all, what I will do here is I will create an image URL. So first is I will take the JSON body from our request. So it will take request.body, it will take name, prompt and photo from our body, and then it will get the photo URL from the photo, and then it will create a new post. So new post equals to, like, you can write await asynchronous function basically with post, that is our model, dot create a new post with name and all these things, and the photo URL I have to generate it through Cloudinary, right? So in Cloudinary, if you open an image, so like this link will come and your image will be like that in Cloudinary, right? Okay, so you can see the post, that is basically create post, name, photo, prompt and photo URL. Now I will return this status with 201, that is created successfully, and in the JSON I will pass success true, and I will pass data as this new post. I will pass this thing. So create post photo URL, for of now we have to use Cloudinary. So let's just uncomment this one, and I will write process.env.cloud name. I will just copy through my folder Cloudinary name, then I will copy for rest of the same and copy paste this one, sorry, by mistake, Cloudinary API key and Cloudinary secret. Okay, so this file is accessible. I will upload in GitHub. You have to create your own API key and secret, so you can paste this thing in the env folder, and now it should work. So in Cloudinary you can get it through settings, then in your settings you can see access key, and you can get the API secret, API key and all these things. So once it is done, so your Cloudinary is also set up, and now let's create the Cloudinary function. So I will call await function with Cloudinary.uploader.upload the photo. I will upload this photo basically that user will pass, and I will get the photo URL as a response from Cloudinary, right? So it is done. Very simple, very basic thing to upload a photo in cloud. Now do the route for the same. This will be a post method, so change it to router.post, and I will call that controller create post. So now if you change the method to post in Postman, and if you run this one, so I have a default name, prompt and photo, which is a base 64. You can see error is coming. Let us see why the error is coming. So it is showing that in the console I can see it is photo. Okay, so it will be photo URL.secure URL. So Cloudinary returns a photo URL as an object, and we will see. So you can see in Postman now, if I have run this one, you can see that it has uploaded our photo. We have got a URL also. Pretty much good, right? So our create post controller is also done. Very simple controller, having very minimal thing. In backend we have a more heavy task, but this is very simple, right? So creating a new post. Now we have the attractive part, that is the generating images with the AI. We will be building that controller. So create a new file, generate AI image.js, then basic import all the things that are required, like .env, create errors, and then I will set up the OpenAI API key. So you can go to openai.com, and there you can create your account, and there you can get the API key, and you can see their docs also for Node.js, like the basic things that are required. So let us see, like install OpenAI library. Now in the API key you can create your own API secret, and you can use that in the .env file that I have imported. So like that. So first thing is OpenAI, const OpenAI's configuration, new configure. I will write the new configuration that is to be imported, and I will pass my API key process.env.openai API key. Done. Then import configuration from OpenAI. Done. Then next thing is I will call the OpenAI. I will set the as a variable and call the OpenAI.API configuration. I will pass the configuration. This is also to be imported from OpenAI. Now you can use this OpenAI object basically that we defined, and we can use that for generating image. Let's create the controller. I will write export const generate image. Same thing, try catch block will be there. Prompt, I will pass the prompt as request.body. Then prompt will be from body, the prompt should come. Catch error, I will paste the same. And in the request.body now, const response I will get from OpenAI. So I will write create image function that will use the Dall.e model basically. I will pass my prompt. N will be 1, size will be 1024 by 1024 pixels. Format response should be base 64. This is very important. You should remember base 64 format we want. And then once we get the response, so what we will do is create or generate image is response data, and we want the first response only and convert it to base 64. That one we will take. So this is basically the Dall.e model that it uses. And now just return or send the response 200 and pass this image that is being generated. So response status 200 JSON and pass this photo as the get generate image, right? Generated image. Now our controller is done. Create the route for the same generate image. So we should have a separate route for all this functionality like this. And now I will copy paste and change the controller to generate image. Done. Now in the index.js come and import the router, generate image router, and define. Once it is done, then we will define from app. So I will write app dot come to the app dot use, then API / generate image, and then generate image router. Now if I do say generate, come to Postman, generate image, done. Now if I pass the prompt and if I send, so some error is coming. Let's see. Okay, configuration is not from OpenAI. Okay, some error is coming. Let us see like why this error coming. So like whenever you develop things, this kind of error will always occur and you have to handle. You can go to Stack Overflow or you can do ChatGPT and solve your errors. So I think I have not made some spelling mistakes. It can be like the version that we are using for OpenAI. I guess it has been updated. Let me check configuration. Let us change the version one. So come to the package.json and let us change its version to say 3.1.0 for OpenAI. If I reinstall and start, yeah, so now it is starting, right? So version was our problem. So revert back to previous version 3.0, that one I mentioned. Go to that version and install, run npm install and then restart. Now it should work. And now if I run this in Postman, some error is coming again. So okay, so response format will be base 64 underscore JSON. So now it is taking some time to generate the image. You can see, yeah, now you can see a photo has been passed in our response. It is a very huge string, basically the base 64 format of our image. So congratulations, like you have successfully created this one, our backend, right? Very simple backend. Now in front end, let's create those, let's import those APIs basically, right? So we will be using Axios. So first import Axios and then define the API base URL. So I will write axios.create base URL and give it the base URL that is localhost 8080/API. This is our base URL basically, right? Then create functions. So I will create get post function and export that one by default. And it is asynchronous function. Then call the API and get message, get function. So API.get and pass the URL that is /post, and we need nothing. So if we call this one, we will get. So other is create post. That function, same thing, copy and paste, but it will be a post method. So change it to post, API.post, and pass it data that is our form data, right? That we have name, prompt, photo, right? That thing we need. Another function generate image, it will take the same thing. Change the URL. Yeah, done. So we are having 3 APIs for of now, and you can create a separate file index.js in API, and you can basically use all these APIs like function. Now let's just call this function. So first thing is like generating the image. So I will make it asynchronous function, generate image function in front end when the button is being clicked. So call this generate image from the index.js, so you can import that one, generate AI image, and pass the prompt. So in prompt I will pass post.prompt, and when it is done I will check its response, and I will be setting this response on this post.photo, so it will be coming in our that thing that we created, photo card, image card. So I will set the post, same thing as I showed you how to set anything in use state hook. So I will add response.data.photo, add question marks, so no error will come if something is wrong. And we have to pass as data as base64, so write this one, data image jpg and base64, right? And then I have to also remove the loading, so set generate image loading false, and catch the error if any error occurs. So you can show it to user, or you can do console.log, anything you want. For of now I will do console.log, and I will remove the error. Or you can do one thing, like you can add a text also for error. So I will first of all do text.console.log error for of now, and let's just check if it is coming or not. So I can write a cat in the beach. So let's see, hope it should come. It will take, yeah, it is coming successfully, right? Congratulations. So you can see successfully it has generated an image, right? So I think now little bit of happiness has came in you. Okay, so let's just continue. Okay, so let us create a new use state, that is error, and by default it should be null, or you can say empty string. Now error, I will set this error with error dot response, and with check the data, and say message. So if the message come, set the error to that, right? And if now before the text, add a curly brace and check if error is present, then pass a div with color red, so error will be shown there. Done, error is done. Copy paste the function for the post also, just change it to asynchronous, change the API function to create post, and instead of prompt pass the whole post, and in response change the loading. Done. And I want to navigate right to the home page, so I will use the same thing, the navigation, use navigation as I showed you basically. So done. And use navigation and from React router DOM, and this is done pretty much. And you can see like I have navigated to home page, change the spelling, navigate, yeah, navigate. And if you reload some, it will be use navigate, sorry use navigation, use navigate, yeah. And if you create a new image, let us try with the post. I hope it should work. So it is generating an image, same image. So let's see. Okay, so it has generated a new image. Give the author name. You can see the post button is now working. Click on the post, it should work. So let's see. Yep, so it has taken us to the home page. That means it has successfully created a new post, right? So our two APIs are working successfully, and now the basic API that we have is getting all the posts. So I will call that one. So now calling that one is very easy. So we will have a use effect hook, that is basically use effect is again a React hook. So first let's define a use state of empty array, right? So in this empty array, set the loading to use state, it will be false. By default it shouldn't be loading. And set error basically if the error comes. So for that we have a use state. And then search is also required, so I will set the search. And filter for the search are also required, so I will create a new use state, that is filter, and I will set the set filter. And the use state will be for of now a simple array, empty array. Okay, now remove this cards for of now, and let's just call the API first of all, right? So I will map the filtered post basically. So all in the filtered post we will be having array of objects that will be having the images or the cards that are required. So if length is 0, I will say no post found, and if length is greater than 0, so I will reverse the order of it, and I will then map the thing, and I will check the, I will need the item and index, and then I will place the card inside it with the key index, and the item will be item. Done. Make it to equal to 0, not greater than. Done. So if it's 0, then no post found, and if it is not 0, greater than 0, and if error is there, so again the same thing, make a div, pass the error, style will be red. Basic simple thing. And loading, now we have to add the loading. So if it is loading by default, so wrap the whole card wrapper in the loading, in the else part. So if it is loading, I will show the circular progress bar. So you can now call the API basically. So create a function get post. It is asynchronous function for calling the API. In this get post, set the loading to true. You can set the loading to true and call the API that is present. So I will call await get post API. Let's see in the get posts. Okay, get posts done, imported, and then it doesn't require anything in the then take the response and set post will be the response.data. Right, we have the array format in the data, so just simply add that one, and I will call its loading also. So set the loading to false. Done. And same thing, the error catch part will be same, so just paste that one and set the loading false. Done. Same thing, basic simple. I have created the function for getting the post and setting in the hook. So now we will use effect. So whenever the page loads, this function should be called. So if I reload this page, you can see no post found. So I filtered post. Okay, sorry, filtered post we have to also set. Filtered post will be same thing, response to data. Now whenever I will search, so I will be rendering the filtered post, and the post will be same. So like when the user doesn't search anything, so in that case the filter post should be set. So let's just do, and you can see. So there was error with name, so I have made that correction. That would be name, not author. I have made that. So now you can see that all our images are coming perfectly fine, and you can see how awesome it's looking, right? So I hope you are liking it. So give it a thumbs up and subscribe the channel GeeksforGeeks. So now call the use effect for search. Like whenever we will be searching, so it should be re-rendered the array, that is the use state array, right? So I will, in the use effect, I will call a if function and see if there is nothing is searched. So I will set the filtered post same as the post use state that we have, and if not, that means something is searched, right? So now in that case I will check like what is being done. So I will filter the post and I will get the prompt. I will match the prompt with the search prompt that user will enter in the search bar. So post and also the name. So post.name.to lowercase, I will convert to lowercase both of them, and then search, and then I will return the prompt and prompt match. Let's name it prompt match and author match. Prompt match or author match, anything matches, it will return. And say if search is done, then only I will call this set filter post, and then I will pass this search filter post in this set filter. Means I will set this search filter post in the filter post. So now you can see like I will pass the search as a props for the search bar, search and set search. So I will pass the set search function also. I have passed basically the hooks. Now in the search bar I can access it, I can change that thing, right? So I have search, so the value should be search for the input, and on change the same thing, I will change the set search as e.target.value, right? So now whenever I will type anything, it should coming. Let's reload and let us just type Raje. Okay, so the posts are not re-rendering. Let us see, there might be some error. Okay, so the use effect, author match. Okay, so author match. Okay, so I have written 2 lowercase, it will be includes. So I have made a mistake. Now it is coming. Now you can see like the search is working, right? No post found. So for David, or say DDDD. Okay, submitted is coming. Let us do lowercase for search also. Let us see the author match or this one. Not working. Okay, some error is there, I guess. Let us convert the search to lowercase. Before that, convert it to 2 string and then 2 lowercase. Same thing for the Yeah, now it is working. Okay, so toString and then convert it to two lowercase, so lowercase would also work. So David, search anything you search, it should work perfectly, right? So the search functionality is also done, and congratulations, uh, you have basically successfully built this whole application within this few hours, in 1 hour basically, right? So congratulations, you can now come and generate new image with prompt. Write any prompt whatever you want, give the author name, click on the button, and it will successfully generate image with the Dall.e model from OpenAI. You can see how cool the image is looking, and post that image, and it is done. The API is called, and you can see you will come back to the home page. So this is the awesome thing that we have built, right? So hit the like button and share it with your friends. And now the most important thing, we will be hosting this whole application. Yes, you are right, we will be hosting this whole application. So wait, first of all, initialize the Git, create a new repository in your GitHub account, link with that. So you can also check out my GitHub account, so you can see my profile. My username is Rishabh Chanda, so you can come into my GitHub account and follow me. I also post contents in my YouTube channel, you can follow that. So come into the repositories, create a new repository. So you can see in AI image generator MERN, I have created this repository. So basically repository you are having in GitHub, now we will be deploying that to render. So backend will be deployed in render, and front end will be deployed in Netlify. So these are the popular hosting websites that provide hosting. So in render, login and then connect with your GitHub account. So just connect with your GitHub account, enter your password and all the stuffs, and link up your repositories in render. Very basic simple step. After you have linked up, so search for my one is AI image generator. I have searched, I have set the configuration. Now I will connect this one. So there is a connect button, so click on connect and just give it a simple name, AI image generator. You can give, then root directory is server, then build command will be npm install, and then start command will be npm start. Basic commands. Root directory will be server. Remember this, as we don't have our server in the main folder, we have inside the code is inside the server folder. Now add a secret file, that is .env. Copy and paste the .env file or folder file that you have. Copy the contents of that in the server. So I will copy my ones. So I will copy the whole thing. Done. I will paste it here and I will save this one, right? So once it is done, so click on the create web server button and relax, it will create the whole server and you will get access to your API online, right? Once this is done, you can access the API. So you can see there are a few logs so that it is building the whole thing and it is deploying. So in the meanwhile, we can just get started with Netlify. Let's just see once it is done successfully. So it is, you can see it has within 7 seconds it has completed, and it is deploying now. Okay, let's wait. Okay, now you can see a link is being provided. You can open the link and you can see whether it is coming or not, the GFG, that the message that we have passed. Let's see. It will take a little bit of time for loading. So in the meanwhile, you can follow our channel, our contents, our blogs of GFG and all the stuffs. So yeah, you can see hello developers from GFG, our server is successfully hosted. You can use that URL right now. So you can come to your file in that we have the API folder in the index.js. Now you have to change this localhost to the deployed one. As you deploy this whole front end also, so we should have the backend API working successfully, not localhost, so it won't work. So you can see post, it should work. Okay, so there would be API basically, right? So API/post, it should work. Yeah, it is working, right? So API is working perfectly fine. I have modified our API Axios base URL also. Now you can upload it in the you can push that in the GitHub and then we will be connecting with Netlify for front end, right? So open Netlify, then you can create your account with Google, log in with GitHub, sorry, not Google, with GitHub only, then GitHub, then add a new site. So click on add new site, then import existing project, then deploy with GitHub, and once it is done, authorize the thing, and you can see your repositories. Search for AI image generator, AI image MERN, then branch will be master, then base directory is client. Remember this thing, client for front end, back end is server. Build command will be build, and then publish directory client slash netlify dash, then add the environment variable ci false, this is required or else there will be error. So this is done. Let's open this one. So we can see some error is coming, page not found. Okay, let's just check. Deploy is working. Deploy, there is no errors. Let us check the settings. Front end is done. Let us add a netlify.toml file that is required, or else sometime this error comes. So create a new file, netlify dot sorry, I have written a spelling mistake, netlify.toml. okay, now we have to pass like the index.js as our root directory or whenever we are redirected. So I will paste I have made again a spelling mistake, netlify. Okay, yeah, now it's good. Okay, so you can just copy and paste this thing what I am writing. You don't need to remember this thing, it is not necessary. So basically it will redirect from any path that we have to our index.html file that we have, right? HTML done. So that is pretty much it, and status will be 200, right? So this is a basic setup for netlify.toml, not that much important. Let us see if the error has gone now. Let us do a commit, sync the changes, open the netlify. Let us open the, so in localhost it is working absolutely fine, you can see. Let us open the site overview, and in the site overview it is showing it is deployed. Let us see the site configuration once. So I will change the site name to say AI image generator, GFG, saving it, and let us see all the things are correct or not. Build and deploy commands are perfect or not. Let us see. So build command, we do have it is correct. Okay, publish directory is not set. Okay, so that's the error. Okay, let's do a configuration. Publish directory will be build client slash build. So all the React file we have client slash build, right? So let us set that one build, and now let's just save that, and let's just trigger the redeploy, trigger clear cache and build deploy. So now I guess it should work. Let us see if it is working or not. But I think there shouldn't be any errors. So okay, so building is done, building is in progress, initialization has been completed, and let us just wait. So I hope like we have created a full video of MERN stack starting from backend and front end. Okay, so now you can see like deploy logs is clear. Now you can see if you open the URL, it is coming perfectly fine. Let us go in site configuration and open the URL that we have created. So yep, congratulations, we have successfully created a full stack MERN application. Also we have hosted that one, and I hope that you have learned a lot of new things through this video. So don't forget to like and subscribe the GeeksforGeeks channel for getting more such contents. So yeah, now you can like generate an image. So to test the backend, obviously the backend is working, we have seen the posts are coming. So let's generate an image. So a morning walk in mountains, let's see. Okay, so it has came, right? So yeah, it is coming successfully. You can do a post also. Let us do post. So if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. So yeah, now our post is also working fine. it is taking or redirecting us to the home page. You can see all the images that have been generated. You can download them, and I hope you have built a pretty cool website. Search functionality is also there, right? So yeah, if you guys have any doubt regarding this whole thing, or if you want to reach out, you can write in the comment section, or you can reach out to GFG handles, and yep, I will be there helping you out. And you can get all the files and resources from the drive link, right? So yeah, thank you for this video. I hope you have liked this one. So I will see you. Bye bye.